No, it isn't. All right. Pivotal day in the Murdaugh murder trial. Why? You say that every day. Well, these first steps in the trial are really important, especially when it comes down to what proof will the prosecutor be able to present to the jury to explain why they think Murdaugh would do something as unthinkable as killing your own child. Oh, he killed his wife too. Let's be honest. All right? People kill their wives, and wives try to kill their husbands, not as often, but it happens a lot more than people trying to kill their kids. So, the son of Alex Murdaugh's dead housekeeper, Gloria Satterfield, took the stand today to help bolster the prosecution's case in their attempt to prove motive. Why? Why would the housekeeper have anything to do? Pressure, desperation, wanting to distract from attention on him. Do you buy it or not? Well, let's test it. Criminal trial attorney Sarah Azari and Eric Bland, who is the attorney for Satterfield's sons. Boy, I got to tell you, that's the kind of argument that usually Eric Bland will beat somebody over the head with for 15 minutes in one of these segments, that he doesn't believe anything they say. No, but why did you think, Eric, that your client was effective today, and why do you believe his testimony should be relevant in the murder trial of Alec Murdaugh's wife and son?
Good evening, Chris. The reason is it was raw, pure victim impact testimony. You just said it, that it is so rare for a father to kill a son, and we can't even imagine what the motive would be and what type of dastardly miscreant would do something like that. Well, you saw today that young man, Alex, literally took a steamroller over him and his brother and took $3.5 million of the $4.3 million that was stolen. I think you saw this morning, and I think the judge did too, that Alex is really that bad of a man. And oftentimes, you don't need a motive that is really compelling. Sometimes people kill for the oddest reasons. This Satterfield case was the first external pressure that Alex was feeling. Everything else was internal to the firm that he could try to talk his way out of. He talked about putting it on the shelf, and Chris Wilson, his best friend, and that 709. This is the first external pressure that he couldn't control, because my co-host Mandy Matney on my Cup of Justice podcast, she wrote an article about the Satterfield settlement, and that is something that he could not control. And you heard from the testimony that Tony spoke to him the month of the murder. So this is compelling testimony, and I think it's going to be 404B admitted testimony, Chris.
All right, let's play a little bit of the testimony, and then Sarah Azari, who has a withering look on her face right now, will take on your argument.
Of course.
He told you it was still making progress and he was hoping to settle by the end of the year?
Yes.
Did he tell you that they had already gotten a settlement for $500,000 and $5,000?
No.
Did he tell you that they had already gotten a settlement for $3.8 million?
No.
Had he ever told you that there was an umbrella policy for $5 million?
No.
Did he ever mention to you anything about Forge?
No.
Did he mention anything to you about structuring any settlement?
No.
Did you give him permission to steal your money?
No.
The guy is a low-down, dirty cheat, Sarah Azari, and that's why he killed his wife and son. Will that wash, and should it be presented to the jury?
Well, first of all, y'all taking me to dinner and the club, and I'll get to that in a second. But here's what's going on with this, Chris. Before and after matters to motive. Motive precedes a crime, doesn't follow a crime. This guy could not remember a monumental, important phone call that he made to Murdaugh, who he believed was his lawyer at the time, inquiring about where his money is. That doesn't ring true to me, and I would eviscerate his credibility on the stand if his testimony was admitted. Because look, you know, you made a call in June of 2021 to your lawyer. It was then the subject of a claim that Eric Bland pursued for you. And what, were you using a landline in 2021? How do you not know? Or was your lawyer on Cuomo and didn't prep you? How do you not know when you made this call? If this call was made after June 7th, you better bet it should not come in. It should not be admissible because it doesn't go to motive.
Even if it's admissible,
pure character assassination.
Okay, so the prejudice is obvious in it because it will make the jury think he's a bad guy. What is the best case scenario for prosecution if it does get in, Sarah? What could it mean to the jury?
Well, look, this is egregious. This is what I was talking about last night. It's about how he stole and who he stole from, right? These are the ugly facts we don't want, and we want to stipulate if it does come in. So the prosecution loves this because the prosecution doesn't have a good case for murder. They want to present a case for fraud and then have the jury leap from a fraudster to a murderer. That's what the prosecution
All right,
wants.
I got you. Eric Bland, you're going to get the last word on this. You disagree. Tell us why.
She's just dead wrong. He's a 31-year-old kid that didn't know the exact date. SLED is going to introduce the date of the phone call. It is on the phone records of Alex Murdaugh. More importantly, they don't have a good case for murder. This guy was disproven on every single alibi he gave this week, Sarah. I don't know what trial you were watching, but his best friend
and I don't know what trial you've done that you think motive should not be compelling. If you don't have a compelling motive, then guess
Sarah,
what?
when was the last time you've been in South Carolina?
It doesn't matter. I've been all over the country
Sarah?
doing trials, Eric Bland, all over the country. Not South Carolina, but I've done plenty of trials.
I'm going to enjoy my dinner. I'm going to enjoy my dinner for you.
And I'm going to enjoy the club. Let's go.
Where did the club come from?
Because I want to go to the club.
Look at me and Bland. We're not going to the club.
He owes at least
He's
$2
going to the golf
me
club.
and your producer and the club.
I'm not going to the club.
Thanks for
He and I are
having
going
me
to the
on.
health club. You should see this. You should see the size of this guy in person, by the way. All right, Sarah Azari, thank you very much. Counselor Bland, thank you as always. And don't think I don't see what you're doing with the sideburns. Very strong. Good look. Have a good weekend. To be continued next week. Straight ahead.
See you, brother.